I think I've got it, folks. I think I got something that's a lot more indecisive, something that might be a little bit more controversial, something that might be debatable. This, of course, being another Am I the A-hole video. I'm excited about this one because I think last time was way too easy. I think it's a good one to start out with, but this time I really had to think about this one because honestly, I still don't fully know if I made the right decision on this one. I have my official belief as to who I think was in the right and who was in the wrong, but I feel like a good comment might be able to sway me the other way. I really thought about this one, and I figure we'll just get into it. The title says, Am I the a-hole for choosing to sit indoors at a restaurant and not on the dog-friendly patio? A bunch of friends and I planned a dinner and drinks out at a brewery this past weekend. A friend that we are cordial with said that they made a reservation. I was the first to arrive with my wife. Turns out a reservation was for outdoors. I asked if we could move indoors. They said yes, but needed a few minutes. More friends arrive as we wait, and we are led to our table. All had no issues being indoors. We ordered our first round of drinks while others arrived. The friend that made the reservation walks in without his wife. He asked why we are indoors when he made the reservation for outside. He informs us that he brought his 3 dogs. He said a table was still available so we could move outside. He asked why we moved the reservation inside. I said I don't think it mattered and preferred to sit indoors. He said another friend brought his dog too. I said I'm going to stay here. I don't really want to sit outside. I informed him I think letting everyone else know you are bringing your dogs is need-to-know information. He said we are supposed to be sitting outside, so it doesn't matter. I said it does matter. I don't want to sit around with 4 dogs while I eat and drink. He called me the a-hole for switching it up and not telling him. The friend group was split. Some people went outside to be nice, but the night fizzled out and really wasn't what everyone expected. Am I the a-hole? No. There's an edit. And I don't know if I should be saying these edits after I discuss with you guys, or if I should just add it on top of this. Sometimes it could be a nice surprise, perhaps. Like, hey, there's an edit, there's more information. But I think this one, I just want to read this one quickly because I think it fits to have it before the discussion. The edit says, the person who made the reservation volunteered. He did not plan the outing. It was more like in a group chat. Hey, anyone want to do this? People were interested. Place was chosen. The guy that brought the dogs volunteered to do the reservation. So now it's time to compare both sides. I mean, you've got the OP who came there first, and I don't believe that OP had the idea that this was a very formal get-together. It appears to me that the group was just working together to plan some hangout together via text, and as a group chat, they kind of all decided to make the plans together. So by the time OP walked in and he was the first one in, I believe that he felt that it was not as important to stick with what was originally planned since he thought of it as just being very casual. So by going inside, he felt that there was no big issue. Now the problem I have with this is that he didn't make the official reservations. I mean, it took the friend to initiate everything, to get everybody's insight on what they wanted to do and make that reservation happen. I think as a member, if I were to be a member of that friend group, if I see somebody making those plans, making the initiative to set everything up, I would respect their decision to go outside, especially if I'm the first one and the server says, hey, we've got that spot for you outside, like the reservation says. I'd be like, okay, even if I don't like being outside, which sometimes I don't, especially if it's a colder day or a windy day, if the reservation says outdoors, I'm going to go outdoors. I mean, I don't feel like it's my responsibility to make that change happen because of how I feel. Now, the problem I have with OP is that I just feel that he should have just double-checked with the friend group. I understand that it might not have been too official, too, fancy of a get-together, but if you're going to make changes like this, I feel like you need to just double-check with the rest of the group and see if everybody's okay with it. If I came in first, but the reservation was under somebody else's name, I don't want to make those big decisions because it's not my reservation. At this point, it's the friend's reservation. He took that initiative to get this all set up. I believe that it's his decision that I should honor that would be going outside if he wants to. Now, of course, things get a little bit more tricky when we hear about the whole dog situation. But as we hear about the party and how friends are coming in, it seems that most people are totally cool with it. Like, no problem at all with being indoors or outdoors. And I feel, again, if I were to insert myself in the situation, I wouldn't have a big problem with it, even if it was a busier time inside or if it was a difficult weather situation outdoors. Like, as long as everybody's having a good time, I would be fine too. I don't feel like I would ever want to intrude on other people's enjoyment because of my personal preferences. Unless it became to like an extreme or something like that, then I would understand. Now, I don't know if you guys have friends who've brought dogs into restaurants or public areas, but 3 dogs sounds like a lot of dogs to bring to one event. I think that's a lot of, unless it's a very pet-friendly area, I really don't know if I'd be comfortable bringing in 3 dogs. That's one thing where I've got to say that's a little bit, especially if it was unplanned. That's one thing that gets really confusing now, is that the friend who initiated this whole thing and made the reservations, went out of his way to do this, didn't mention to anybody, at least OP specifically, that they're bringing in dogs. Like, that's a big preference to consider. I don't know where I would think about that. I don't know how I'd think about this. Now, to go back to OP, it's a bit of an issue when I believe it's a server that comes in and mentions that there is seating outside. This is where things get very difficult to be supportive of OP, because now that you see that there are dogs here and that there was a reason why people want to eat outside, now it's time for you to see that opportunity and say, hey, I understand that you have dogs here, even though it wasn't mentioned in the group chat at all. I see why you wanted to go outside. There is open seating outside now, so let's just take the party outside. But no, OP thinks, hey, I prefer indoors, I was here first, I didn't know about these dogs, but I'm gonna stay inside. This is where I start to lose my, I guess, understanding of OP's reasoning. This is where I don't follow through with what he's saying. I don't understand it, I should say. Now it gets really difficult because another friend comes in with another dog. And so now my question for this group is, do they normally have dogs with them during these events and activities? Because it seems very common if there's already 2 friends that are bringing a collective group of 4 dogs. I mean, I feel, at least to me, it seems like it's a normal occurrence. Normal enough that they don't need to actually say anything in the group chat. I don't know how close OP is with this friend, but it seems to me that it might be OP's first time with this full group. I'm a little bit confused as to the surprise of OP if this is such a common occurrence for these guys to bring in their dogs, but I could be wrong here. So with that being said, once I see, especially here in that 3rd paragraph, where people are starting to, like some of the friends are starting to switch over to the outdoor section, I would feel obliged to join them, right? I mean, people are starting to leave because they actually have to go outside. They can't just have their dogs chill inside the restaurant like this. So I would feel that now that I'm aware of this, I will go join them. But OP decides to sit around, and I think a few other friends join him, sitting indoors, but that makes things really awkward. I don't understand. This is where I really don't understand why OP did this. So as you could probably guess right now, there's not much suspense for me. I think that the OP is the a-hole here. As I was reading the comments of this Reddit post, I see a lot of people putting in ESH, which means everybody sucks here. I understand that, and I think that it's fair to pick that, but for me, I want to make it as difficult as possible for me to have to choose one side or the other. I don't want to put everybody into a collective group and say everybody sucks here, because I don't feel like that makes my job too easy. I want to make it difficult enough where I see both conflicts, but one is worse than the other. Now, if there are stories in the future that they're neck and neck, 50-50, I'm just going to have to go with it, but I'm going to try to make it as hard as I can to pick one side over the other. And again, looking through these, the friend he made a mistake by not letting people know that he's bringing dogs in. I wish I knew how common this is for them during these gatherings, but I think that was a big mistake that he didn't let anybody know that he was going to bring friends in. Maybe that friend with the other dog, that one dog, knew about it, but I think you have to let everybody know when you're bringing a dog in, because there are people who are uncomfortable with dogs. I totally get it. I mean, there's people I know who aren't not big dog fans. I can understand why you'd be uncomfortable having them around you. especially just when you're trying to eat food, have a good time with your friends, something like this comes up that you're not prepared for, I can see that being a problem. But to me, from reading this post and the edit section, I don't see any inclination that OP has a problem with dogs, besides the fact that he just doesn't want to be sitting with them for dinner or for drinking with friends at a restaurant here. It doesn't seem to me that there's a important reason. If OP was deathly scared of dogs, if OP had an allergic reaction, if OP had any major reason why he wouldn't want dogs here besides his personal preference, I think that that would make for a much more compelling reason why he would not be the a-hole. But in this situation, there's not enough information for me to see why that shouldn't be a problem. And yeah, just simply not accommodating for anything is the main reason why I think OP's the a-hole. I mean, just on a whim, changing plans without even being the one who made the reservation. I just don't see the reason why OP had to be so difficult. I mean, I suppose you're friends. I figure friends work together on this kind of stuff. This is a simple problem that could be fixed very easily. I think that OP needs to be much more open to making, I don't even know if it would really be a sacrifice, but just some changes. Okay, you don't want to be indoors, but most people have a real reason to be outside. Join them outside. What's the problem? What's going on here? So, that's how I feel, but please let me know if there's anything that I missed from here. And let me know if you have differing opinions, or if you think I'm justified in thinking that OP is the a-hole in this situation. Thank you again, and hopefully my audio sounds a lot better than last time. I'm trying to work with the AC unit in here. It's great, it's a great machine, but it affects my audio a little bit, and so I gotta make those changes. But again, thank you very much. If you have any recommendations for posts you want me to talk about in the next video, let me know. Now it's the uncomfortable part. I gotta say, please make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to see more of this content. At some point I'm gonna have a better outro, but that's all. Anyways, thanks again. See ya. Goodbye.